Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Golf Chat Show Live. Again, we're joined by Steve Brotherhood from Tour Caddy Experience. Thanks so much for coming on again.
Right, mate, anytime, no problem.
I mean, we're making this a regular occurrence on a Friday.
I feel famous. No one's ever wanted me so much.
I mean, we're getting great questions every single time you come on. Sorry to pull you away from the party that you said you've got going on in the street.
That's all right. Yeah, so I've left them all out there. They're all social distancing, having a bit of a boogie to music and a few drinks. So yeah, so it's nice, and the weather's awesome today. So perfect.
Class. So I want to catch up with you in terms of how is your draw going, because I know we were nearly up to £1,000 last Friday, or roughly around there. How are we going so far now?
We're up to £1,420 so far, with an hour left. So anyone listening now and wants to have a go, please click on and enter, because at 6 o'clock I'm doing the live draw. So I will end the campaign probably about 10 to 6, and whatever we've got in there then will be donated to the NHS and the Autism Dogs charity. So yeah, so I'm proud of that. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of sort of raffles and donation things going on, and you know, to make that kind of money with everyone that's doing the same kind of thing is been pretty good. So yeah, so I'm really proud of the TCE lads, all the caddies that have sort of said they would put their time into. The first prize is a 4-ball with one of the caddies, so you know that's worth over £800 if they were to pay for it. So yeah, you know, and they're going to do that for nothing. They're going to get paid no money. So you know, they've put their time and effort into that. So you know, they're a great group of lads, and that's why they're part of the team.
Absolutely brilliant. And there's some other money can't buy prize as well, isn't there, in there?
So we've got a Sergio Garcia signed 2017 winning Masters flag, which is pretty awesome. I've actually got him.
The man cave again.
Man cave. Sorry to show off, but that's what it could look like if you framed it, which is pretty nice. And then I've got that was donated by Jamie Lane, one of the caddies. He caddies for Bernd Wiesberger, which is very, very nice of him to do that. I've also got a Jordan Spieth signed open flag when he won. That was donated by Dan Parrott, who's another caddies for Ben Ann. I've got a 9-hole playing lesson and an hour lesson with Phil Archer, who used to be on the European Tour. Yeah. Same with Robert Coles, and the same with Rob Dinwiddie, all at their home golf courses. So don't have to pay a green fee, and you get a chance to go and play with an ex-European Tour player. So that's pretty special.
That's class.
Yeah, it's good. I've got an Epic Callaway Epic 3 hybrid donated by the boss, David Horsey. And I've got a bundle of Titleist gear signed by David Howell as well. So yeah, so we've done pretty decent for prizes. Considering I was starting off with one prize, which was just through the TCE lads. You know, these lads have saw what I'm doing, and they've offered their services to help out and try and raise a bit more money. So yeah, so £1,500 will be roughly about what we make, and it'd be $750 to each charity. So it'd be good.
Brilliant. And that's going to be doing on Instagram, aren't you? I think you're going live on Instagram.
We're going to go live on Instagram at 6 o'clock. Yeah. So Tour Caddy Experience, if anybody wants to come and join, and I'll just do a little bit of a Q&A. You know, if anyone wants to ask about anything caddy related, I'll answer as many questions as I can, and then I'll do the live draw. So I've got this found this little gadget online, which is it's called the Wheel of Names. So I've got 143 names now, which I can just drag into this Wheel of Names, and you click it, it spins around and then picks the winners. So, which is makes my job a lot easier.
Brilliant. So what I'll do, guys, I'll get Steve to send me the link, and I'll put it on my social media so we can send you all over to there to go and check it out. And if you've not already, 2 great courses. So make sure you go and donate even as little or as much as you can.
Yeah, it's £10 a go, £10 entry. You can have as many goes as you like. So, you know, if you've got a spare tenner, it's all going to a good cause, and there's a chance of winning a really good prize.
Fab. Okay, so let's get into what questions we've got for today's show. Some really good ones today.
Okay.
First one I want to get into is, what will tournament golf look like after COVID? Because at the minute, when you travel to events, you said a couple of weeks ago that you have a set caddy that you stay with.
Yeah.
under the kind of new rules or the rules we've got at the minute, you can't go with anybody outside your household. So could that potentially look like you and your player staying together or staying in separate rooms, and only really being in contact with each other?
Yeah, I mean, it's very vague of what's going on at the minute. We keep getting emails to tell us what the tour's kind of looking like. But again, no one really knows until we have the government's announcement probably this Sunday to tell us where we're going to be for the next month, if you like. So it could be another month in lockdown, and we're nowhere closer. A tournament was cancelled at the end of August last week. Switzerland was cancelled, or postponed. So it's not looking bright. But if we do get back out on tour, I think the first things will be there'll be no crowds. I can't see them allowing crowds at an event. I think they'll be trying to do venues where there's a hotel on the golf course, so we all stay together. There'll be all testings every single day. We might all have to do a test as we get to the golf course, and if there's any kind of symptoms, we'll be sent away, I would have thought. And it all depends on the airlines as well, because you've got to remember, there's golfers coming from all over the world trying to get to a certain venue. The airline's not flying there, then they ain't going to get there. So it's a difficult situation, and probably, like you say, with my roommate, it looks like we'll probably be doing single rooms, and eating on your own room service. Maybe could be a pretty lonely life for the rest of the year.
Because I saw that golf courses and hotels in Portugal have now opened back up, but the part of the restaurants aren't open in the hotels, and you have to have room service.
Yeah, well, I can see that how that will happen, because you can't all congregate in a restaurant when you got to be 2 meters apart. You can't sit at a table together. When we go out, there could be 10 of us on a night having a meal. So it's it's going to be strange, and I don't think there'll be any caddy lounges or any players lounges. I think that'll be. I don't really know how that's going to work. That might be a lunchbox kind of thing, sitting on your own in outside area, or have to go back to your hotel room or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to take time to get back to normal, to get back to normality, I think, on the tour for sure. It's worrying times. You never know. It would not surprise me now, the position we're in at the minute, it would not surprise me if we didn't play the European Tour this year. It wouldn't surprise me if they cancelled the whole thing and started again in January. But I know they'll be doing their damnedest to try and get the tournaments to make it some kind of season.
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of players that'll be like, right, perfect, get a start again.
Yeah.
There'll be players which were probably in a good vein of form.
Yeah.
You win, you finish in the top 60, there's great prizes on offer, there's exemptions, there's all these things where having a better category, career money, can really just take the pressure off in years to come.
Absolutely. And I keep seeing on all these social media sites that, American golf courses are open again now. So the likes of Rory and Dustin and Brooks, they're all out on the golf course practicing and playing. Now, we haven't picked up been on a golf course for 6 weeks. So, the Europeans going to an event, playing against the Americans that are already started practicing and competing on a golf course, it's a bit of a, what chance it's hard enough to beat them at the best of times, let alone, when they've got a head start on you.
Yeah. And on that note, I got some friends that live in New York, and you can, in New York, you're able to actually leave the state, go and play golf in another state, and you can drive back. So, there's some states that have never been in lockdown.
Yeah. I think that if the announcement on Sunday says that we can go back on a golf course, I think it'll be members only. I don't think they'll be allowing visitors to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I think it'll be in something like a 5-mile radius to travel. If you're outside that, you can't go to that golf course. I think it'll be literally you turn up 10 minutes before your tee time, you get your clubs out, you go straight onto the tee. No practice facilities. And I think it'll be 2 balls with like 20-minute tee times intervals. Yeah, I think that's the only way they're going to be able to get us back out there. I don't think they'll be playing this in 3 and 4 balls, that's for sure. And obviously no rakes, no. So if you go in a bunker, you just pull it out. And if you might be giving me putts inside, putter length or whatever. I don't know, but there certainly won't be any touching of flags and things.
No, and I also think, like, for example, coaches, I don't personally think they'll be back. I mean, some people are saying you can teach at 2 meters, but it's still a risk there, and it's not essential work, is it?
I mean, I'm still getting emails from people now, you know, wanting us to go and give them a caddy experience, and you can't give them any kind of hope as such, if you like, because, you know, we can't go and carry their bags, we can't pick their clubs out, we can't hand them a club, we can't clean the golf ball for them, you know. None of that will be, you know, we won't be able to walk the fairways with them unless they allow us to, if we do go in 2 balls, and we can maybe do it as they have to pull their own trolley or push their own trolley. We stand a good 2 meters apart for them and give them a lesson that way. That's probably the only way it's going to work. But that's not part of the experience that we give. You know, if we're going to go and do it, it's a one-on-one. We pick the bag up and carry the bag like we're caddying for our players on tour.
Yeah, they're literally like a tour pro for a day, aren't they? Literally.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what the experience is all about. That's what we try and make them feel like, that they're having that inside, you know, like being on tour, like make them special for a day.
Yeah, I mean, I can highly recommend that, guys. If you do want to feel like a tour pro, and actually not just that, learn some things about your game without even having to change your swing. Some valuable advice by all the guys there.
It's quite amazing the amount of times we're in a pro-am or when I've got weeks off and I play with the lads at my golf club at Newark on a Saturday, and it's just blatantly obvious the simple mistakes that they're making. But because they've never been taught a course management lesson, we just think it's the way of doing it. But you tell them the simplest of things, and they're like, well, why wouldn't I have known that? You know, that's the most simplest mistake I'm making, but I would never know that. Like, you ask any of the amateurs watching now, how many times do they go past the flag with an iron? If they've got an iron in their hand, how many times do they go over the green or past the flag? Not very often.
No.
They're always on the club, and that's because the shot selection they're picking, the club selection they're picking, you know, and not knowing how far they actually hit the ball. Now, we do this on an everyday basis, week in, week out, and straight away, when we do this Google form where we ask each individual player how far they hit each club, if they know it. And the amount of times an 8 iron comes out at 150.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know, it's beyond me. I mean, I'm a +3 handicap golfer. All right, I'm not the biggest hitter in the world, but my 8 iron goes 156. Now, you're telling me a 15 handicap is hitting it 150 yards with an 8 iron. He might be built that way. He might hit the odd one that far, but I always put them on the first hole, 150 yards away. I said, right, come on, let's show me this 8 iron. Not one person, as far as I can remember to date, that sort of knew or didn't really know how far they hit it has got it past the flag. You know, incredible.
It's always short and left and right.
Yeah. You know, and they're leaving themselves 30, 40 footers, and then all of a sudden that's a 3-whack. That's cost you 2 shots. Where if you hit the right club, you get it to 15 feet, or pin eye, and you've got a chance of making an up and down. But
it's that ego thing, isn't it? Just to kind of go down that. It's especially with kind of the male side of the game, and it becomes very much an ego. Oh, what did you hit? What did that hit?
Yeah.
Whereas you get on tour, nobody's bothered about what anybody hits, apart from trying to get a bit of a sighter to see what club they've hit, to see where that's gone in comparison to the flag.
At the end of the day, we've got 14 clubs to choose from. Doesn't matter what club you hit. If you go and play with someone like Soren Kelsen, for example. Now, made millions out of the game, still making millions out of the game. He doesn't hit it as far as me off the tee, but you wouldn't want to play against him. You know, he knows how to get around the golf course. It doesn't matter if he's hitting a rescue and you're hitting a 7 iron. He'll probably get inside you. You know, that's what you've got the clubs in the bag for. You've got 14 clubs to choose from. It doesn't matter what club you're hitting. If that's the right club for you and that's in your makeup, just hit that right club. You know, but people, they, especially when they play with me, they see me at a club and they think, oh, well, he's at an 8 iron. I'll probably get there with a 7. When it should be probably a 5 they're hitting. But they're just trying to, because they're trying to keep up with someone. Just stick to your own game. Do it the way you do it, and and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I better not give too much away because no one will be booking us else.
Yeah, the whole experience is gone there. Sounds like an absolute grilling, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We've got a question here for you coming live from YouTube from Matthew Bennett saying, any idea if you'll be able to get within 2 meters of Dave Horsey to do your normal caddying, like using a yardage book, giving yardages and clubs when you're going back?
Try and keep further than 2 minutes 2 meters away in normal conditions. So. Hey, who knows? Again, it's one of them. We might have restrictions. They might even say no caddies. Has anybody ever thought of that? You know, we're gonna start the tour off, but it could be just players only.
Now, some players wouldn't do that, 100%.
But if it was a matter of playing a tournament or not, and you've got a choice of using a trolley, you can't have a caddy, but there's a tournament available. They're going to go. They're going to go and play.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's gone through my mind. You know, I think of things every day to think, you know, what are they going to say? Who knows? They might say that. I'm hoping they don't, because obviously it's, you know, it's our job at stake. But
you know what they could do with that? They could actually just along those lines. You could have the player has a trolley's their bag, but has the caddy there from 2 meters apart to safe distance, like you're saying before. You're still there. You can still get the numbers. You can still go through the wind and all those factors. But just you're not touching the clubs. You're not getting anywhere near them. No, that is actually feasible, isn't it? That could actually happen.
Could be walkie-talkies.
They've got 144.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I can't really answer that. I have no idea until we get some kind of feedback of when we're going back out on tour and what the rules and regulations are going to be. I really don't know.
So you spoke about earlier about maybe, I know you're only speculating here, about testing for every round, but going through my mind, imagine you were leading.
Well,
showing no symptoms.
About, you know, you're three shots clear going into the last round, and all of a sudden you get a bit of a fever overnight, you know, and then you can't play. Sorry, you know, the top 10 in the field could be wiped out overnight, and then all of a sudden you've gone from 7 shots behind to joint leader. You know, scenarios like that could happen if that's the way to do it. You know, it's a difficult one. I don't know. There's so many different scenarios to talk about. It's a scary one.
Have you getting emails regularly? Is Dave getting emails regularly?
Yeah, we keep getting. You know, we've all got associations, Caddy Association, and they're brilliant. You know, they keep us up to date. They do a great job, and you know, it's a thankless job they've got. I mean, there's no way in the world I could do the way that they do it, because you've got 200 caddies you got to try and keep happy, and no one's, you know, some of the things you see on our group messages, you think, you know, give the guys a chance, you know, let them do their job, you know, in general, not so much about what's going on now, but yeah, I mean, they do. As soon as something comes through, we're alerted, we get emails, we get updates on our website and stuff, so we are up to date on you know, when they know, we know, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's all they can do, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, I know we sort of spoke about before about what potentially might happen tomorrow, depending on what Boris says. Now, I'm asking you as a golf fan and a member of a golf club, do you think we'll be allowed to go and play? I know you sort of said potentially in 2 balls.
I think because the rumours going around that they're going to try and ease lockdown, you know, for me, if we're allowed to go into a supermarket with 30 other people in a confined space, where they're saying that when you're in a confined space, that's the you know, the most dangerous. When you're in open air, like, you know, we're sitting outside on our drive, our neighbours are on their drive 20 metres away, and our other neighbour on the left there is another 20 metres away. You know, they're saying open air, you've got, you know, there's no trouble. For me, unless you're going up to a golfer that you're playing with and you're shaking hands and you're passing him a golf ball or touching his clubs or whatever, which you never do anyway, no, I can't see why they wouldn't open the golf courses, as long as we stick to the rules that, you know, you don't go to the ball machine and press the balls to come out. You don't go and stand on a range next to each other. You go and play your golf, you come off, you get in the car and you go home. I can't see why that is. And I do quite a bit of fishing as well, and I don't see why you can't go to a fishing lake, sit on a peg on your own and do a bit of fishing. You know, there's no one around you. You know, then your next man's probably 20 yards away up the peg there. So for me, I think it'll be something like golf, fishing, cycling. You know, obviously running is still doing now, but there'll be. I think they will ease it a little bit. I mean, I did hear a rumor, and I'm not sure how true this is, but there's on about maybe pubs could open if they've got a decent sized beer garden.
I heard that as well.
Yeah. And if they've got a decent sized beer garden, they can sort of make squares, if you like. So you can sit in that square, next one can sit in that square, and so on and so forth. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I have heard that.
I mean, all I'd be thinking, like these cracking the flags now here in the UK, it'd be absolutely mobbed. And other than that,
I think it'd be hard to control if they did start opening, because I live on the River Trent. From my back gate to the river is 150 yards. It's it's an 8-time. So I could walk to there now, and I could go and sit on the benches in the beer garden, which is right next to the river. And have a beer. I could take my own beer if I like. But if they're saying the pubs are going to be open, all of a sudden you got families, you got the kids that are at school with each other, they haven't seen each other for 6 weeks. All of a sudden, kids are going to start they're not going to stay 2 meters away from each other. They're going to start playing with each other.
Yeah.
I think they need to be really careful on how they word it and how they lift lockdown. They need to take the time for sure, because you don't want to be sitting here in 2 months' time, me talking to you again, saying, right, we're now back in a 6-week lockdown, because it's spiraled out of control again. So it's a difficult one.
I agree. I went for a walk this morning, actually. There's a golf course, literally 5-minute walk from my house. We took the dog on there, and this is pretty early this morning, like 8:45, and it was mobbed. There was so many people there. I mean, not in the sense that you couldn't be safe, but way more than there would be on this time, even on a Saturday morning playing golf.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, I've seen some horror stories where people have gone to golf courses to go for walks, and they've laid a picnic blanket out on one of the greens, and kids are playing in the bunkers doing sandcastles, and it's just, I don't know. They've got a big headache, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to be in Boris's shoes for sure. I wouldn't want to have to make that decision.
No. So questions back to the golf course now. So joining around, what are the kind of things that players eat? Do you have to make that before going out? Is that something that you prepare?
No. So we've got a routine with Dave. Dave's he's quite a fit lad. He likes to do his gym work, and he's got one of these Peloton bikes that he does so he keeps himself fit. But I've got a job. My job is to prepare the bag, obviously. So he has these nuts, which is in a tube about this big.
Yeah.
So he has to have one tube of nuts in the bag. He has to have 1 protein bar and 2 bananas, 1 for each 9. And pretty much every round he will eat those. Now, I spent a bit of time in the great Sevi's company. Luckily, when I was caddying for Steve Webster, Steve was having a couple of lessons off Sevi. And Sevi, this sticks with me for, well, it will stick with me for life, but he always said, never, ever go hungry on the golf course. Even if you don't feel hungry, just eat something. He says, because as soon as you feel hungry, the brain is hungry, and that's how you lose concentration. So coming down the stretch, in contention, whether it's in a medal, Stableford with your mates, or whether you're on the European Tour trying to win £1 million, if you're all of a sudden start feeling hungry, that you've lost. So and he said they always had, you've seen the great Billy Foster story when he's talking about the fruitcake with Nick Price when he choked on his bat swing at the match play at Wentworth. Having a fruitcake in the bag, it's sugar. It keeps you full, and keeping, and also Dave has these hydration tablets. He has a lemon and a blackcurrant one, and I have to make 2 bottles up for the front 9. And then as soon as we get on the 10th, I'll make, or if it's a hot day and he's drunk them already, put another 2 tablets in for the back 9. So he has 4 hydration tablets in his water. Now, I go around the golf course with the amateur lads, and they'll have a pasty at 9 holes or a bacon sandwich, and not have a drink, or they might have a coffee or a soup maybe. But if you're really committed about your golf game, and you especially if you want to do well and get your handicap down and do well in competitions, what's in the bag is a must. You've got to have the right things to keep you energized, and if you can get that in your routine, water in the bag for sure, get some hydration tablets or salts if you like, especially on hot summer's days when it's taking a lot out of you because you're out there for 4 or 5 hours. Bananas are a brilliant one, nuts brilliant, and obviously protein bars. And a lot of the lads in America, they have peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Now that's again a routine that I know Justin Rose has them quite a lot, Brooks, because I've seen the caddies in the players' lounge making them up, caddy lounge making them up. So, peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwiches is a good one as well.
But it's amazing. I know you touched on it there. How many golfers don't drink, don't eat when on the golf course?
No. And the thing is, tired. That's what loses your concentration. You're dehydrated. You feel thirsty. The amount of times I see a lad come in the bar and he'll order 2 pints and he'll down the first one, and then the second one's just to go and sit with the lads and have a drink with, because he hasn't had a drink out on the golf course. It's quite amazing, really. But yeah, that's, for me, you've got to have the right supplements in the bag to keep you going on a golf course, for sure.
So I know you just touched on Seve there. I've got to ask you a question. What was it like? Because obviously being in quite close to him.
Just incredible. I think if you asked me what was the best time of my life on tour, it probably would be those few months being in Seve's company. I mean, I've got, another memorabilia. So that was me, Steve Webster, and Seve, Valderrama. And Steve had I've grew up with Steve all my life, and he was a brilliant short game player from a young age. He didn't really drive it that great, but his short game was mustard. He could get up and down out of a ball washer. He was incredible. But going into tour and as he sort of progressed on the tour, his short game sort of weakened. He needed to drive it better. And I think, I'm not sure whether he'd agree with me here, but maybe because he was working so hard in his long game to get that better, the short game sort of got neglected a little bit, and it wasn't that as good as what it was. So he wrote a letter to Seve. Sure enough, the legend that Seve is and the gentleman that he was, he wrote straight back and said, sure, Portugal Masters, let's meet up there. We'll go and have a short game lesson. And I never forget, we met Seve, and I'm like, I've been out on tour probably 2 years at this point, and I'm like, oh my God, this is Seve Ballesteros. I can touch him, he's that close. And we got in this buggy, Seve driving, Steve in the passenger seat, me with the golf clubs on the back of this buggy, driving out to this chipping green. And Seve just, in his gentlemanly way, just asked him questions. Why are you struggling, and et cetera. And Seve could never tell Steve how he chipped. He just did it. It was just a natural thing. And if you haven't done it already, watch the Seve film, because that is him all over. He practiced with a butter knife 3-iron that his brother gave him from a local golf club out of a second-hand bucket. Yeah, he started with a pebble, but eventually got a golf ball that he nicked off the golf course, and he was cutting holes out the beach. And you imagine practicing all your life on a beach. When you get to the grass, it must feel so easy, because you're having to clip it off these real tight, deep, sandy lies. And he got a 3-iron out in the bunker with us, and he said, it's the easiest shot in the world. You don't have to hit the ball. He said, so why do you make it so hard? And we thought about it. Well, absolutely, you're right, though. You don't have to hit the ball. You have to hit behind the ball. So he got this butter knife bladed 3-iron out, chopped it up from about 20 yards, 6 feet, made it look ridiculously easy. Steve would have a go, and he'd thin it 175 yards down the fairway. The ability of the guy was just incredible. And he told me one story. He told me a few stories, but the one story that sticks to mind is when he won his first ever Open Championship. He was 2 shots behind going into the last round, and he hit 12 bunkers. And he said to us, but because my confidence was high and my short game was that good, I managed to up and down 11 out of 12 times, and I won the tournament. And I said, wow, that's just amazing. He said, no. What's amazing? I hold number 12. And I'm like, well, okay, fair enough. I'm bowing, just incredible. And it was a, incredible time in my life to say that, I've had my arms around Seve Ballesteros. He's just, very humble. I'm very lucky to be in the job that I'm in, and to meet a legend as he is. It's fantastic.
Unbelievable story that. I'm glad I asked the question now.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, final question for tonight, because I know you're going to do your draw in half an hour's time. Okay. So, Ryder Cup potentially going ahead in September. Hopefully it'll go ahead. I mean, I don't know, but how do you pick a team? Because at the moment, there's some pretty big players who have been in a lot of teams that aren't in there, and you only get 3 picks.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive headache for Padraig, obviously, if it comes down to not having his regulars in the team. Now, I'm just looking at in the man cave again at the Ryder Cup flags I've got up there, and from 2010 to 2018, you've got Casey, Garcia, Poulter, Westwood, Rose, and Keimer that have been pretty much part of that team for those years. So that's half your team. You get three good players that have been playing well all year. Like last year, you got Fleetwood, Tyrrell Hatton, Torbjorn Olsen, John Rahm. You know, they made their way into the team comfortably. And then, you know, it's pretty simple. Then your captain has his three picks, so he thinks he'll do well. Like, you know, if your Poulters wasn't playing that great, you would never ever leave him out of a Ryder Cup team. He's the postman. He delivers. He's just incredible. So why would you'd always have him in your backup, even if you didn't use him as many times as you want. Him being Mr. Ryder Cup and a part of that team would be just incredible. So it's going to be a really, really difficult one. I know, like the likes of some of those players I've just shouted out are not already in the team. So he's going to have a difficult pick of those, and then he's going to have to work with what he's got left that have already played well for the start of the year. But obviously, don't forget, we haven't been playing golf for 7 or 8 weeks. No. So, you know, how much time are we going to have before September? Maybe a month, maybe 2, if we're lucky. But yeah, he's just going to have to rely on these boys being as good as what they are at the start of the year.
So the thing I'm going through, so if he went, okay, I'm going to do more as captain's picks, there's a lot of players who are in there. I think Marcus Kinnock's on the borderline of potentially being in there.
Yeah.
There's certain players who'd be like, well, no, no matter the situation, I've put my hat on the line. I deserve to be there, kind of thing. And
of course, yeah, and you can't take that away from him. Marcus Kinnock's an amazing player, and he's got a great caddy on the bag. Mark Crane is a good mate of mine. You know, he's over the last couple of years, he's done a really good job. You know, with Marcus, and Marcus is won, and he's up there all the time. So you can't take that away from him. He deserves his position. Now, like I said, going into September, how well prepared is Marcus going to be in that team as a rookie? Yeah. Never been in that kind of situation before.
Going to America.
You know, it's going to be really difficult. Excuse me one sec. Just give me 2 minutes, mate. I'll come in. Could you remind me when it's 5 o'clock? Yes, I'll remind you. Sorry.
No, don't worry at all.
So he deserves his position, and you know, and if that was the case, and we do play, I really hope they don't play the Ryder Cup without fans, without a crowd, because for me, it just won't be the same. It won't be worth watching. You know, all the when the fist pumps are going up and the Rorys are shouting, "Come on!" and you know, the crowd are behind him. It's just going to look silly with him shouting that with no one to react to.
Yeah.
You know, they get pumped up through the crowd.
The Ryder Cup is our version of Champions League final, the Super Bowl. That is our version of it.
Absolutely. I mean, the only advantage with that would be we're not going to have any daft Americans shouting mashed potato on your backswing.
And they won't necessarily get a home advantage as well.
Exactly. So, you know, that extra player, if you like, what they say with the crowd is, they haven't got that. So again, I mean, I wouldn't, I think it'd be very, very strange watching the Ryder Cup without the crowds. And to put it back for a year, it's not the end of the world, is it?
No, not at all.
Why not? America has good weather. We could maybe do it in April next year or something. You know, what does it have to be September? I don't think so. As long as people can go and watch it, you know, it's a bucket list event for most people that go and watch the Ryder Cup. Don't take that away from them. Don't make them wait another 2 years just for the sake of playing it, in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Steve, I'm going to let you go because I know you've got to prepare for your massive draw.
I'm prepared. I'm all ready to go. I hope people log on and you know, come and watch the draw. And again, at the minute, I think I've just had a couple more come through. So we're probably up to nearly up to 1,500 quid at the minute. So that's good. So after the GoFundMe people take their cut out, hopefully we'll be able to give them 700 quid each or something like that. And that'd be great. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time and for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Your time. Stay safe and speak to you all soon.
100%. Stay safe, everybody. And if you do want all that information, you've got a couple of minutes now to go and spend some money on those tickets. £10. You can buy as many as you want. Steve's going to send me the link. I'm going to put it on my social media as soon as I come off here. So, guys, make sure you go and support those 2 good courses. Thanks very much, and we will see you tomorrow at the same time. Perfect.